mean, normally if you get to sixth place in an American lobby, your palms are sweating. Knees weak, arms are heavy. I mean, they're vomited on his sweater already, mom's spaghetti.
Unless you've been living under a rock for the last few months, you are aware of the accusations that have been made against specific players using VPNs. Well, the idea behind it is you use a VPN to appear like you are playing in an area where the players aren't quite as good, the caliber of player isn't as high, the awareness of the maps isn't as high. So in essence, you defeat skill-based matchmaking by utilizing this. I can see it both ways. Where it starts to get murky is when you're marketing yourself as a player and saying, this is how good I am, but then you're choosing to purposely defeat the matchmaking system to play against easier lobbies and easier people. I don't know if there's too much of a moral issue there, but people who are representing themselves as being better than they actually are, how good are they if they play against sweats or the appropriate lobby all day? So we got to thinking about it the other day. I downloaded NoLag VPN and I decided I was going to play at least a few games just to kind of get a feel for it and figure out whether or not it's worth it. Is it something you can use to beat at skill-based matchmaking? And then at the end, share my experience and talk about, I guess, the moral issue of that and whether or not people who use it should say that they use it.
So I got a new microphone and I was recording during this and it actually ended up having a serious echo throughout the whole thing. So I figured I'd dub over it so I wouldn't subject you guys to that echo. But when you download NoLag VPN, you connect to the servers that they provide to you through something called OpenVPN Connect. And I downloaded the Kenyan and the Nigerian servers. In this case, I am logging in through the Nigerian servers. I'm showing you the data that it shows you. It shows you your connection stats, etc. Something I did want to point out is that the matchmaking time. Now, I have very little ping. I have 1 gigabit up, 1 gigabit down internet. So it's really fast. It's the fastest in the area. It took me considerably longer to get into a match, and that was a noticeable difference. So, I mean, almost immediately you can tell that there is a difference with the matchmaking setting. So here it is, after almost 5 minutes of matchmaking, here I am finally getting into a match. So we had a full team of 4. We decided we were going to go for a safe cracker. Nothing really standing out at this point that would make me think that I was playing in Nigerian servers. One thing that was really, really noticeable, and you can see it on the screen right now, is how much lag there was. So saying it's something like NoLag VPN, in this case, was a little bit misleading. I had considerable lag. Something else that really stood out at this point was how fast the lobby was dying off. I mean, at this point, we were already down to 62 people, and it was the beginning of the second circle. So there was something about that that made it stand out as different than my normal lobby. So I stumble across this guy coming up in a few seconds. Nothing really crazy about that. He's kind of just hopping around, which seemed kind of odd, all by himself. He's got his teammates behind him. I knew it was coming up. I kind of make a sloppy play here and get sent to the gulag, but nothing that would make me think, hey, this is a bot lobby. So at this point, this is where it starts to seem like you're playing against lower caliber players. Just some of the decisions that they made in the gulag, how they approached it, it just felt a little bit off. So this was really the first occasion where I felt like, okay, this feels a little bit different. It plays different. The people playing it play it differently. This is where it ends for me. Nothing really that stands out about it. Nothing crazy. I made a bad play. I thought I could play it up really quick. Knew somebody was coming up from the right. And then I just cut in front of him. Got mowed down by Finnick pretty quickly. Nothing that stands out. I made a bad play. I mean, you see I'm running right in front of his line of sight. He puts down both of us. Nothing really crazy about that. The crazy thing about it, though, is that we're getting into the final circle, and I never felt rushed. I never felt pressed. I never really felt like we put any sort of effort into it whatsoever, and we got 6th place. I mean, normally, if you get to 6th place in an American lobby, your palms are sweating. knees weak, arms are heavy. I mean, they're vomited on his sweater already, mom's spaghetti. But I mean, it just didn't feel that difficult. If like I had been paying better attention and I was playing with people that I normally play with, I feel like we're final circle and we're probably top two. That's the takeaway from this. It felt much easier to get much further in the game. So this is the second lobby we played in. What stands out about this is how quickly I was able to get a bunch of kills. It was the way people were playing. They were just kind of cutting across the street, just kind of standing right in front of you. And so my teammates this time weren't quite as good. I played a lot better, but how these people we were playing against were playing really stood out because they just didn't seem like they knew what they were doing. They seemed lost to a certain extent. So I'm using the Chimera. This is where I get sent to the gulag again. I pick up this one. I almost pick up the second one, but I mean, they're kind of, you see, they're just wondering. I run out there, and then that's kind of the end of it for me. But if I had switched guns, I probably could have gotten all of them. I don't know. I'm not the best player, but they were definitely not very good. So this is when I realized that something was completely different. Like I rolled up on both of them, almost got them with one magazine, and then we finished them off that easy. So it probably the easiest gulag I've ever been in. As a whole, this lobby wasn't as easy as the previous one because my teammates didn't play as well together. They kind of wandered around by themselves, but I would say, honestly, the caliber of this lobby was lower than the previous one. If I had had the teammates I had from the first lobby in this second lobby, we probably would have won the whole thing. We got pinched here. Second team gets the first down, then they get me down, and then it kind of goes downhill from there. I mean, it fell apart. Team wasn't very good. I didn't really play that great. But in all, the caliber of this lobby was significantly lower than the other lobbies that I've played in since I've been playing Warzone 2.
All right, so the readout is that first game noticeably easier. Lobby died out way faster. I made mistakes and that's why I died, but it wasn't like I died to somebody attempting to bunny hop or drop shotting or playing like a sweat. Like we kind of had a face off of ineptitude and I lost. I had a bad rotation there at the end and I just ran out in front of somebody. But that is, I think that is the second or third longest game that I've had since I've been playing this. Noticeably different. The second game, not quite as noticeable, but I had a lot more kills way faster in the game. So the readout, I think it may be too early on to say one way or another whether or not this is definitive proof that is an advantage. It felt like it did defeat skill-based matchmaking. So I think there is that thought process there. Is it getting you into easier lobbies? It felt like it. And that may be the part of it may be the time of day that I'm doing it. It's 4:30. But everybody's already out of school. So it's you're not waiting for the sweats to get out of school. They're already out of school for Christmas. So if you guys have used this, let me know. What's your experience? Do you think it's worth it? And do you think there's some sort of moral issue with it? If you guys are interested in this and future Warzone content, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Have a happy holidays, guys.